Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV here for the ZURI Invest night in Zurich. And we want to get now an update from AuMEGA Metals, and Sam Pazuki, the CEO, is here with us. Hey, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All good. Thank you very much. I mean,
Excellent.
at that gold price, we all should be very happy, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what we've all been waiting for, right? So here we are. And what's next?
Yeah, exactly. What's next? And especially what's next with your company. We have spoken, I think, 1 year ago from here. Now everything is done. Name change is done. You are fully set up. So how was 2024 for you?
Yeah, no, we did a lot. From a corporate perspective, we got the name change. So we moved from Matador Mining to AuMEGA Metals. We got listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange, in June of last year. It was slow go in terms of trading volumes because it was just a direct list. There was no financing on the back of it. We took care of the financing toward the end of the year last year, where we raised 16 million Canadian dollars, which was a big chunk of our market cap. Very strong support from existing shareholders, including B2 Gold. And we were successful in bringing in new institutional investors. So
Can you say some names, or?
I can, because they've become substantial in Australia, and so they have to disclose. So we now have 3 substantial shareholders: B2 Gold, Franklin Templeton, which was already on the register, but they actually doubled their position, and now they're above that 5% threshold. And we also added a Canadian generalist called Waratah Capital, based in Toronto. So it's a good sign when generalists are starting to put money downstream. So they start putting money into exploration names. We haven't really seen that in a broader sense, but it's a good sign that they see the potential of our business and have come in the big way that they did last year. And then we added a few other shareholders in Europe, in Canada, and the US. So most junior companies, if you look at their shareholder register, they would have maybe 10% non-retail. We have about 60% non-retail.
Wow.
So a very substantial shareholder register.
So a good crowd, which is backing you.
Absolutely.
That helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Super. So then the master question, what have you done with the money?
Yeah, well, that was toward the end of the year. So we've been in the throes of a winter program over the last couple of months. It's still technically winter, but it's gotten a lot warmer. So the winter program is starting to ramp down. Last year, I'd say in the last couple of years, we've done what I characterize as boring exploration. We've done some drilling, and the market always wants drilling. And that's always the challenge for junior companies, is that there's always this need or desire from the market, particularly the retail space, to go in with diamond drilling. But a lot of times, companies, they get a little bit of smoke and they follow up with diamond drilling. That's not the way you do exploration. I understand the motivations for juniors because you have market pressures to do that. But because we have the shareholder register that we have, we've done exploration the way exploration should be done. So I'd say the last couple of years has been boring exploration to get us to a point where we can roll out a much larger drill program. So last year we did more of that. We got ourselves into a new area called Bunker Hill. Through the work that we did this incredible high-resolution magnetic survey, which revealed incredible structures, the things that you'd be looking for in terms of what could host a big system. We have 2 different areas two main areas, I should say. It's 25 kilometers long, so it's a massive area.
That's really massive, yeah.
And in one area, which we call Nitty Gritty, we did some prospecting last year, and we had high-grade copper samples that ranged anywhere from 4% to 12% copper.
In association with the gold, then?
Well, the gold was low-grade gold in these samples, but it was high-grade copper and also high-grade silver.
Yeah, fantastic.
So structurally or geologically, it looks similar-ish to Valentine, but Valentine has no copper and they have no silver. So we're still trying to figure out what it is, and we're drilling that. We've been drilling that this winter, so we're getting some more information of what that potentially could be. The other main area is called Bunker Hill West, and that from a prospecting perspective, we have samples that range up to 18 grams gold in outcrop. So we haven't been able to get there yet for this winter drill program. We're about 4 kilometers away from it. So that's probably something we're going to be getting to into the spring, summer, and fall months.
Okay, super. Wow. That sounds really interesting. So I really look forward on those
Yes.
results. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to assays.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
the program is wrapping up. We thought we would drill 10,000 meters. We're going to be short of that because winter has not been very cooperative for us. But whatever we don't drill, we'll just drill in the spring, summer, and fall. So we actually have a lot more drilling ahead of us for Bunker Hill. And Bunker Hill is just one project we have within the massive portfolio that we have.
So what is with the other projects then?
Yeah, so the Bunker Hill will remain our number one priority.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, well, I'll just repeat what one of my geologists said to me. He said, regardless of what the assays come back with, this is an area we need to come back to because we haven't even scratched the surface and we're seeing things that look interesting. We don't know if it's going to carry any gold or copper. Assays will dictate that. But what he's saying is if it doesn't, there's a lot of, we've only poked a few holes in a massive area. And structurally, it's very different to anything else that we have anywhere else on the belt. So that will remain our number one priority. The second one is where we actually have a resource. So we've done a lot of work in what we call the resource corridor. The project's called Cape Ray. And if you look at the history of exploration on the property we have, there's been a lot of drilling. I think there's been up to 100,000 meters of drilling.
Oh, okay.
But if you look at where the drill holes have actually been, they've been into the deposits themselves. So there's actually very little to no step-out drilling whatsoever. So we have 10, 12 kilometers of ground that's never been drilled. We have areas where, the deposit basically is on the contact between the sediments and the shear. And then the drilling doesn't continue on at that contact. It just stops and it goes across to another deposit, which is hosted in a granite. So we see the extension of what we call it's the central zone deposit. We see potential extensions to that. There's an area that is like the gold's hosted in a sedimentary package called the Windsor Point Group. And the thickest point of that package of rocks has never been tested.
So you think there might be some positive surprises?
Oh, we were hoping so.
Yeah.
So we have right now we have about 5,000 meters of drilling planned for these targets in this mature area, but we see a ton of opportunities at Cape Ray. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the portfolio, we got other projects, but Bunker Hill is our number one. Cape Ray is our number two, and then the other project we're going to do some work on is called Hermitage. And this thing we think is it's massive also, but we also think it's very special. It's got high grade silver, it's got high grade gold, and it's even got high grade antimony. So
antimony is well searched for these days.
Absolutely. And this is another area that's underexplored, massive. We've done high resolution airborne magnetics, which has revealed significant structures. So we need to follow that up this summer with some more ground truthing work.
Okay, super. So depending on results, I could imagine where you still would have the focus on Bunker Hill, but let's assume you hit on the other project something really big. Could you imagine to say, maybe we need a partner for that, or maybe we shift the focus a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, our portfolio should belong to a major company. That's just the reality. When you look at the scale of what we have, it's great from a shareholder perspective in that, let's say Bunker Hill doesn't work out for us. We've got all these other projects. And if, one of those doesn't work out, then we got another project. But you look at the belt, you look at, this is one of the reasons why I came over to this company. When you look at this belt and you look at any major gold belt on the planet, there's usually not just one big deposit. There's usually a series of them without exception. Just look at any major gold belt on the planet and there's multiple big deposits on that belt. Our belt, which we are the largest landholder of, has the Valentine deposit owned by Calibre, which is 5 million ounces, and a lot of, I guess, optimism in terms of that growing to something much larger.
I think so too.
Yes.
Much larger.
Exactly. And when you look at Newfoundland as a jurisdiction, you think, well, it's Canada. Why is it a relatively new jurisdiction? It's just, there's been a lot of cover. Like this, it's not an easy place to explore. A lot of it is undercover. Geologists don't like to do exploration when there's a lot of cover. So that's the opportunity, right? And a lot of parts that are remote. And again, that's the opportunity. So when you look at the belt, you've got Calibre. We've got a small resource, 600,000 ounces at Cape Ray. B2Gold's invested in us. They're a strategic investor, owns 10%. Right next to us, and this is the ground between us and Calibre, is Eldorado. So they signed a joint venture a few months ago with the junior that held that ground. And then next to them is Calibre/Equinox. So if that deal goes through, Equinox/Calibre, there's a $7 billion market cap company on the belt. So my point is that all the big companies haven't looked elsewhere in Newfoundland. They're not looking on the belt where Newfound Gold is or in Bay Verte. They're actually where we are. And this is my thesis in the last, I guess, 3 years or so that I've been here. And I can tell you in the last 3 years I've been here, my conviction in what we have has only grown. It just comes down to capital and time to go and make a discovery.
And good drill results, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
You said you raised 16 million. So how does it look like money-wise for this year? Do you have the money to drill that all out?
It's going to be the largest drill program since I've gotten here. So we've got what we believe will be 15, 20,000 meters of drilling, potentially more, depending on results and depending on weather. That's always a factor that we got to contend with. So Bunker Hill alone, we thought we would drill 10 to 12,000 meters. And we thought we could do that in the wintertime. So there's more drilling left to do there because we haven't hit that number. And if we're getting the results that we're hoping for, then we'll just keep going with the drill program there. So it could be something much larger.
But you have the money to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're
that's important.
Well supported, fully financed.
Super.
We were given a big mandate by shareholders last year, and we certainly are looking to allocate that capital into things that we think might move the dial for shareholders.
Super. And I think you're also well protected through your 60% non-retail structure, that the takeover is not coming too early.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're trying to make the best decisions we can for all shareholders. Again, exploration, you need to have the right shareholders. You need to have the right support to be able to do exploration the way it needs to be done, the way a larger company would want to do it.
Yeah.
And again, frankly, our portfolio should sit within a larger company.
Yeah.
So one of the things we've talked about is doing joint ventures with larger companies. And so that's certainly something that we're currently in discussions with potential parties, and could be something that we might move forward with strategically this year.
Super. I like to hear that. Perfect. Sam, thank you very much for the update. That sounds all very compelling. Good luck with the drilling. Please show us some nice results.
Yeah, we'll try. Thanks, Jochen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sam Pazuki, the CEO of AuMEGA Metals. And you heard it, the drills are turning. It's really going forward, 10 to 15,000 meters easily for this year. And gold, silver, copper, those are all the nice ingredients the world likes, all the metals. And don't forget, antimony is also now into the play. And they are one of the best, not only jurisdictions, but also one of the best states for mining, Newfoundland. And this is getting really interesting with some big neighbors and big names going on. So that could be also a takeover target, the company. We will see. But also well protected with 60% of institutional money in the share registry. This is what we like. And the company has a lot of money to drill. They are well financed for this year. So really make sure you check out AuMEGA Metals. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland, from the ZURI Invest Night.